Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Baby, I'ma want you. Baby, I'ma need you. Hi, everybody. My name is Steve. And you may have noticed that the late night wars are really heating up. That's why CBS has paid all the money for me. Oh, yeah, the other guys got fancy bands, and they got sidekicks and studios that don't leak. But you know what we got here? Nothing. No, that's not true. You know what we got? We got good... we got a talking $5 puppet. And, the Scottish Conan guy is here, so that's, You want to know something? You want to know something? He's not really Scottish. He's from France. And he's sexually ambiguous. But I think I said that when I said he was from France. We'll be right back, everybody.
The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, sponsored by the U.S. Navy.
It's hard to stay up, it's been a long, long day, and you've got the Sandman at your door. But hang on, leave the TV on, and let's do it anyway. It's okay, tomorrow's just your future yesterday.
Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Ferguson.
Hey! Woo! Look at you! Come on in!
Hi, welcome. Welcome to Los Angeles, California. Welcome to the Late Late Show. I am your host, TV's Craig Ferguson. Please, quietly, everyone, act as if you weren't completely planted by me. Act as if you were real humans and not laughing robots. A guy came up to me in Vegas this weekend. I was in Vegas. Oh, yeah. And a guy came up to me at the Vegas this weekend and he said, "Do you have an audience for your show?" I was like, "Hey, pal, watch your step with me." All right. I really cussed at him, but I can't tell you what I really said. But I told them earlier on. And let me just tell you, there are over 110 drunk people here that enjoy hearing that word very much. Hang on.
It's a great day for a miracle.
No, it is. It's actually, it's great to be back because we were in reruns last week. And now we're back. Unless this is a rerun in the future. Do you know, the huge blizzard covered the East Coast, 10 inches of snow all over the East Coast. The police are saying there would have been terrible traffic jams if people still had jobs to go to. It could have been... Do you see what I... No, wait. See when I said that, I went, jobs to go to. Did you hear that? I did, I went, to go to. I think I'm slowly evolving into a Bond villain. Jobs to go to. Do you know that the largest airline carrier in Britain has proposed charging £1 to use the toilet? I'm okay with it as long as they don't charge by the pound. Then that would be fine. I know. Hey, you know the #1 movie at the weekend? Medea Goes to Jail. It talked to the Jonas Brothers. I was like, no! Yeah! I'm like, no, yeah! It was like, talked out, whatever that is. So what it was a man who looks like a woman on top of 3 boys. Perhaps you could do the punchline on your own, could you? I think you should. Hey, there's 2 big pieces of news from Iran. Yeah, because I always like to get the news from Iran. No, the first is that the CIA believes that the Iranians will turn on their secret nuclear reactor any day now. And second, the Iranians, and this is the interesting part, are demanding an apology from Hollywood. Are these things related? I hope not, actually. Well, yesterday, what happened is that yesterday the arts and cinema advisor to the Iranian, Iranian president, right? His name is Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Anyway, well, the advisor, he's demanded an apology from Hollywood. He says that the Hollywood, you know the Hollywood, you can see it on there. Hey, the Hollywood! He says that Hollywood makes movies that are offensive to Iranians. Look, listen. See, it's in the New York Times, so you know there may be some truth to it. Maybe. Anyway, this guy, he pointed out the movies that he didn't like were 300 and The Wrestler. He said they were offensive because they portray Iranians in a negative light. And I'm like, what? I don't understand. What's offensive about the 300? In that movie, the Persians, the Iranians, are sexually ambiguous, oiled-up party boys with abs of steel. I'd pay money to be portrayed like that. What the hell is wrong with you? But this is... Hey, come to my house! Come on, come to my house! That's my new catchphrase, I've just decided. Hey, come to my house! Take that, cheeky monkeys. Remember last year, the Iranian president, Ahmadinejad, he said that... Do you remember he said there were... This is true, he said there were no gays in Iran. Uh-huh. Let me see. There are no gays in Iran, but the president has an arts and cinema advisor. Kind of undercuts your case, you know what I mean? Oh, there are no gays in Iran, but you watch The Wrestler and 300 back to back. 300 could be the gayest movie ever made. There's gay porn that's less gay than the 300. No, wait. I don't know if that's entirely true, I'm guessing. So there are no gays in Iran. Do we have a picture of the Iranian president, Ahmadinejad? There he is. Do you know what I think, Iran? Honestly, I think they have to lighten up a little bit. You should take a page out of Poland's book. Are the Polish demanding apologies for the centuries of the Polish jokes? Of course not. They got bigger problems. They've got submarines with screen doors in them. They got the helicopter with the ejector seat. I'm sorry, Polish people, I don't mean that. Or Iranians, I don't know. I'll apologize to anybody. But Hollywood never apologizes for anything, ever. Like, I've seen dozens of crap movies in my life. Nobody's apologizing to me. Nobody's apologizing to me, Iran. But then again, I don't have nuclear weapons. Oh, wait. Neither do you, right? Come to my house!
What the hell is wrong with me?
Anyway, you know, the apologising is hard. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's difficult for Hollywood to... Elton John has a whole song about apology. Sorry seems to be the hardest word. Do we have a picture of Elton John? There he is. I think maybe for Elton John, sorry is the second hardest word. I think the hardest word might be restraint. People will always be offended, you know, with Hollywood movies, because Hollywood will... Hollywood!
Come to my house!
Hollywood will always offend people if there's a buck in it. You know, I mean, The Godfather is offensive to some Italians, Slumdog Millionaire is offensive to some Indians, and who could forget Brigadoon? Well, most people apparently, but let me just tell you. If you happen to be under the age of 75, Brigadoon, most people thought was a delightful Gene Kelly musical. To Scottish people, it portrayed us as whiskey-crazed monkeys. It is a tap-dancing hate crime. Do we have a clip of Brigadoon? Do you know? Go on, laugh, enjoy it. I find that offensive, and I'll tell you why. No Scotsman would throw his barrel of whiskey away for dancing. Are you nuts? Come to my house. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the big show where we celebrate the life and work of Liza Minnelli and also other things. We don't have time for me talking about stuff like that, though. You know, during the commercial break, I gotta be honest, I said a cuss word. It was awesome. Everybody was very excited. The audience liked it. I liked it. You know the word I said. You've heard it before. But I'm not allowed to say it. Now, does that make sense to anybody? Does to me, anyway, that's for sure. Do you want to know what it was? That one. Really? Yeah. I learned it in Scotland. I don't have time for this. Do we have time for an email? Do we have the jingle? No, not the jingle. Forget that. I hate the jingles. All right, I'll do the jingle then. All right, but just me doing the jingle. Email. Yeah. Thanks. This is from Caitlin in Costa Mesa in California. Caitlin says, Dear Craig, my office is doing a Biggest Loser challenge. Do you have any weight loss tips? Yes, I do, actually. I do have some weight loss tips. Move around more and eat less. Right there. That's going to really work for you. Also, this is true. I used to drink the big lattes out of Starbucks. I used to drink, like, maybe 10, 15 a day. And I stopped drinking them about a week ago. Look at this. Look at that. My neck got thinner. But only my neck. My ass got fatter. Because I don't have the coffee making me run around, so I just sit down going, ooh, look at my thin neck. This is from Sydney in Beaver Creek, Ohio. Sydney says, I'm doing a project on Finland. Have you ever been there? What did you think of it? If you've ever been there, what do you think of it? Well, I've never been to Finland, but I hear they have the most fabulous beaver population there. So you might want to check that out with your project. This is from Melissa in Woodstock in Illinois. It's a different Woodstock to the one where everyone went and rolled around in mud and then changed the world. Dear Craig, says Melissa, what is your favourite yoga pose? Mine is happy baby. I don't think I'm familiar with happy baby. Also, yoga poses, I have different favourites depending on whether I'm doing the pose or observing the pose. That's right, I sneak into yoga classes and watch. Jeez, that creeped myself out there. This is from, wow, this is from Mr. Octopus. Look at that, Mr. Octopus. In Longview in Texas. I didn't know they had any Texas octopuses. Octopi. And it's not octopuses. Remember that James Bond film, Octopussy? You know where I saw that movie? Beaver Creek. That's where I saw it. I was in Ohio. I went to a little movie theater and I thought, what can I see? Oh, a James Bond movie. I thought, perfect for a rainy day. It was raining. Oh, well, never mind. Anyway, Mr. Octopus, that's an awful name, isn't it, Mr. Octopus? I'm sure the children make fun of you in Longview, Texas. Oh, look, here comes Mr. Octopus with his 8 things. Mr. Octopus says, would you drink cereal-flavoured milk if it was freshly bottled? No, I'm not drinking the milk now, because look. I'm not drinking... Look at that. My neck's going to get thinner and thinner soon. It'll just be a fat body and a head hovering. You won't even be able to see the neck. It'll be awesome. It'll look like South Park or something. I'm pretty high tonight, actually. We'll be right back, everybody. We'll be right back. Everybody, welcome back. I'm sorry, just during the break I was reading the Parade magazine there. Don't you love the Parade magazine with all the exciting information inside? Do you know what? I was just looking at it during the commercial break because it's either that or talk to the audience. And I'm looking at this. You know, people say to me a lot that I look like Liza Minnelli. And I'm like, huh, I wish. They do, though. Isn't that funny? Not so funny for Liza Minnelli. I call her Liza Minnelli. Hey, you know the infomercials that are on other channels right now? You know, I love the infomercials. I saw one. Normally I don't pay any attention, you know, the thing, the bedazzler. I've got one. But there's I like it when they've got the music, you know, and you can get, like, you know, compilations of old music and stuff like that. And here's one I saw I get excited about. It's from one of America's musical legends, the great Brick Johnson. Take a look.
America's faced tough times before, and what got us through? The hard music of Brick Johnson.
When you wake up in the morning and you need to move your legs, fix yourself a breakfast with some big American eggs. American eggs. American eggs. American eggs.
In his first TV offer, a man who celebrates the real America, Brick Johnson. You get it all, including Brick's heartfelt love ballad, Honey, I Killed a Guy at Lunch.
I killed a guy at lunch. I got my wrench. I felt his skull go crunch. Honey.
And who can forget Brick's inspirational comeback hit after his 9-hour police chase in Branson, Missouri?
I'm such a douche. Somebody turn me loose.
You also get big box checkout.
package, gonna push it on up your eye. It's a big box, check out for service with a smile.
Just check out all these Big Johnson classics.
Sometimes I just want my blanket. When life bends me over, spanks me. I said spank me. Call me a bad little girl. That's what I like. You know you love it.
And only in this TV offer, a bonus track, Brick's never before released, The Humming Song.
Hum, hum. America.
The songs are hard, but ordering is easy. So call now and have your credit card ready, if you still have one.
Time to get me some of them big American eggs. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Now listen. Listen to this, right? I want you to, this is very important. Michael, the producer, who usually sits right there, right? Look, he's not there. He's gone. And you know why? Because apparently there's a dangerous electrical problem. And Michael has to go. But I want to assure you sitting there that you'll be fine. How can you get, wow. So, there's a dangerous electrical problem. But you know what's nice to know? It's nice to know in the upcoming late night wars where I don't have a band or a producer, or, as it turns out, electricity, that I'm gonna be the winner. Electricity! Come on! But you know what? We don't need your stinking volts round here. And you know why? Because we've got all the electricity we need in the lovely Paris Hilton, everybody. Paris Hilton. Look at you. You look sensational.
Thank you.
Really lovely with your dress and all the other
We
things
match.
going on.
I like
Yeah.
the blue tie.
Do you like this tie? Mm-hmm. It's not mine. I borrowed it from Drew Carey.
Nice.
It looks even thinner on him. How are you doing? Are you all right?
Good. I'm a little jet lagged. Just got back from Tokyo.
Really?
So, long trip
What were you
there.
doing in Tokyo?
I was out there for promotional work for my clothing line.
You sell clothing to Japanese people?
Yes.
Do you actually go into the store and help sell it when they come in and they ask in their Japanese way to buy clothes?
Not really. I just
Right.
I kind of hang out in the store and say hello to everyone, but
Do they know who you are then?
yeah.
Because I sometimes hang out in stores and say hello to everyone, and they're like, who's that creepy guy next to the ladies' underwear? That's not right. Or in the ladies' underwear sometimes.
Nice.
Now, did you get your new dog? You were telling me you were getting a new. Did
I
that
got
happen?
a new dog. Yes.
Wait, do you have a photograph?
Yes, that's
All right.
him. Baby Bear.
Baby
Got him in
bear.
Tokyo.
Oh,
So
really?
he's
You smuggled a
Japanese.
dog into the country? You can't?
No, I did not. I got papers and everything, and
This is a Japanese dog. Mm-hmm. And does the dog understand English?
I hope so.
All right.
I really hope so.
Do you know, I got a new dog at the weekend too. I really did.
What kind?
A French bulldog.
Oh, those are so cute.
No, I don't like it at all. What happens is it came to my house. It was a dog that we were going to foster, but of course there's no such thing as fostering a dog, and now it's in my house.
That's nice.
No, it's not nice, Paris. It's a small French bulldog. It's very, very farty.
That's not so nice.
Well, I've got a German Shepherd, which I thought was farty, but it's not as farty as the little tiny. Are your dogs farty?
No, not at all.
How many do you have?
5.
Oh, come on. They got to be a bit farty.
No.
5
They
dogs,
don't
no
do that.
farts?
Not
What do you
my
feed them?
dogs. Steak.
Steak? You feed your little dog steak?
Sometimes.
Right. How often have you done that? Once?
Just know when they want treats, when they're well behaved.
How do you know when they want treats then?
Because they'll ask for it.
In Japanese, perhaps?
Sometimes.
All right. Did you have your birthday party? Because remember you said you were going to invite me and then you didn't.
I did invite you.
Oh, you did?
I sent you an email.
Oh, an email. Ah, right. Which email? I didn't
don't
get it.
know.
It must have been something wrong with the email
All right, well,
system.
I have another one in Las Vegas this weekend.
How many are you having?
I had like 2 in LA, 2 in New York, just 2 in Japan, and now I'm doing 2 in Las Vegas at the Hard Rock this weekend.
That seems slightly excessive to me.
A little bit. I like to celebrate my birth.
Right,
Very
yeah.
much so.
And how would they differ, the ones in Las Vegas from the ones in, other towns?
A lot different. The one in LA, I made everyone wear pink. It was like a whole pink Barbie theme.
That's the one that I was not invited to, but didn't get the, yeah.
Would you have worn pink?
No. No. Well, what's going to happen in Vegas then?
It's going to be at the Hard Rock Hotel, so
Right.
we're going to have it at Body English, and it's going to be insane.
Do you ever go to these clubs? I've been to a couple of the clubs, and and the music, and the people yelling, and the foam and everything, and I think this is actually very unpleasant. Do you ever think this is very unpleasant? Don't you think it's quite unpleasant?
Sometimes it is. It depends on where you are, but,
What about the paparazzis? Do they still follow you around all the time?
Yes, they're outside right now.
Are they really?
Yeah.
You might want to tell them to stay outside. We're having an electrical problem. They don't want to come in and get the... Are you any good with electricity or screwdrivers or anything?
Not really.
What about fixing stuff around the house? Do you ever do that?
No. I'd probably, break it more than it was, so...
Where do you live? You live in Hollywood, don't you? You live
Beverly
up in
Hills.
Beverly Hills, over there somewhere. I
Yeah,
can just
right
see it
there.
out the window. You didn't grow up here, though, did you? You grew up
Yeah, I
in...
did grow up here.
Did you really? I thought you grew up in New York.
No, I grew up in New York from just high school.
Right.
Until I was 18, and then I moved back. But I was born in New York as well, but only
Right,
lived
so
there for
that
a
would
little
put
bit.
you in New York quite a lot of the time then.
No, I moved from 2 years old to 15. I was in LA, so I feel like an LA girl.
And how's the sexiness in your life? How's the dating thing? Are you everything going all right? Because you're all over the papers again. You know that, right?
I'm doing really good.
Oh, good,
I'm really
good,
happy.
good. Yeah. Is it difficult to find a nice man in LA?
It's very difficult.
Yeah, tell me about it, girl. I know.
But if you find someone nice, it's good.
Now, if you meet someone in one of those clubs, how do you know if they're nice? Because you can't really see them and you can't really hear them. They could be...
Yeah. I don't really meet guys at clubs. That's not my type. They're usually the biggest corn cheese balls, so I don't usually talk to guys at clubs.
Then where do you meet them?
Just
At the
they're
laundrette,
friends.
perhaps?
They're
or
friends. At the gym.
the gym?
I don't know. I'm just making that up.
No, that's...
I don't go to the gym.
No, come on, you do. You look very healthy.
Thank you.
I know, yeah, you know what I'm...
It's all that clubbing and dancing.
Yeah, I was going to say, you look healthier than I've seen you look, I think.
Thank you. Just for you.
Really?
No, every time I'm about to do the show, everyone's like, you have to dress really sexy for Craig. He
Really?
likes
Who
that.
says that?
Just everyone. They're like, he loves cleavage. I was like, okay.
Wait, this could be a lie. I enjoy cleavage, and I'm an American citizen. I'm entitled to it.
Who doesn't love cleavage?
You're right. Who doesn't love... I tell you who doesn't love cleavage? Al-Qaeda. They want to take our cleavage ways away from us, but we won't allow it. No. And so your birthday, you're having your last birthday party this weekend?
Yes.
Until next year's 28 birthday parties. How old were you? 20, 23, 24, something like that?
21.
21. Very nice. Do you know Liza Minnelli's only 40?
Yes.
Yeah, Liza Minnelli's...
You guys do look alike.
Yeah, I do look like Liza
I know.
Minnelli.
You put it up, and I was like, wow.
Exactly.
Like some fake eyelashes, and you guys could be like twins.
I love you for saying that. Paris Hilton, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Don't worry about the electrical situation in the studio here. I'm wearing rubber underwear. I always wear rubber underwear just in case the electricity goes wonky. Well, I'm very creepy tonight, huh? What with liking cleavage and wearing my rubber underwear. Anyway, my next guest is a former White House press secretary. Finally! She's the author of Why Women Should Rule the World. It's out now on paperback. Please welcome the lovely Dee Dee Myers, everybody. Dee Dee Myers. Hi, Dee Dee, how are you?
Hi, Craig. I'm great.
Look, there's your book in paperback
There
right
I
there.
am,
Is
in
it just out in the paperback now?
It was just last week.
Hey,
Just
you
a
know
few
what
days
you
ago.
want to do to sell a lot of the paperback books? You get a little bit of cleavage going on.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah?
You know, I need a little something.
You need a little something
Yeah.
for what? What are you implying? Are you gonna?
I wouldn't.
Would you ever consider? I mean, you know, having work done?
You know, when I was younger, I said I'd never have anything done.
Right.
I'm not that young anymore.
You really would?
No, not that.
No, you don't want to do that. Come on, you're Dee Dee
But I
Myers.
understand
What?
a lot more than I used to.
Yes?
Why people do it.
Sure.
You know, you look in the mirror and you go, wow, who's that?
That happens to
Yeah,
me. I
yeah.
look in the mirror and it's steamed up from the shower and I'm like, Grandpa, do you have a message from beyond the... Oh!
Yeah,
I know.
it happens.
It's a scary thing.
Right.
How are things in Washington?
Things in Washington are hopping. Boy, I
Really?
tell you, it is.
Yeah,
It is. Whether you like President Obama or not, he said, "I'm going to Washington to do big things, not small things." He's kept his word.
Well, it's a huge snowstorm there
There's
right now. He probably
you know
did
what?
that.
We haven't had that kind of snow in years.
Well, you know what?
You see what I'm
That's
saying?
clearly a sign of his...
He's in charge. No, but it's an exciting time in Washington. I think whether you're a Democrat supporting the president's agenda or a Republican trying to figure out how to block it, it's a lot going on.
I'm enjoying the GOP stuff from
Yeah.
Washington.
Did you know that Rush Limbaugh was the head of the Republican Party?
Apparently
I
he
didn't
is,
until
yeah.
recently, but I found that out. Yeah.
Now, how does it work? Are they trying to find somebody? I'm a bit ignorant of American politics. I mean, I
Yeah.
obviously this was my first election,
Right.
And I'm looking at the Republican Party now and think they have to choose somebody now to be their next person, or how long do they have to wait?
Well, they won't choose a presidential candidate, obviously, until probably 15 minutes from now.
Right.
They'd like to have somebody. No, the process goes pretty quickly, but it'll be a couple of years, and you'll see a lot of competition for somebody to emerge as the head of the Republican
So that's
Party.
why these people are positioning themselves now.
Correct.
then.
We saw Governor Bobby Jindal of Louisiana.
He's hilarious, isn't he? I love him.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this a joke? I know this is fantastic.
Let me just say, I'm not a Republican, but I think that's probably not the reaction he was going for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
know
I thought
that
it was all
maybe-
about
yeah.
lightening up and the image and everything.
Right. But this is what happens to parties out of power. They don't have a leader, a natural leader, and they don't necessarily have an agenda because they don't have a leader. And so now they're going to go through this process to try to figure out who speaks for Republicans, and that's part of what the next couple of years will be about.
Who do you think speaks for the Republicans right now? Do you have any?
I'm happy with Rush Limbaugh as a Democrat. I think that's perfect. The more we can see Rush Limbaugh in the black outfit, I thought that was great. Yeah, the better.
He should show a little more cleavage, actually.
Or not.
No, yeah.
But it's an interesting time because big things
What
are
about
happening.
the women in Washington? I mean, your whole thing about why women. There's a lot more women in the.
There's not enough yet, but there are more women, and we got just today the president named Governor Sebelius of Kansas as his new Secretary of Health and Human Services designate. She has to go through the process, but that shouldn't be a problem.
Has she paid her taxes?
Let me just say that I think they probably asked her that question before today's press conference.
Yes,
and I think they probably know a little bit more about what was in her financial records.
Right.
I'm just guessing.
Yes, that was
guessing.
an unfortunate little run
Yeah,
of.
yeah, it happens, but it reminds you that. They take these things very seriously in Washington.
Go pay your tax?
Yeah.
Not just Washington, the
I
entire
guess,
United States,
exactly.
I found.
Yes, have you found that?
Yeah,
through
I found
personal
it,
experience?
it was one of the, even before I became a citizen, they were quite happy to have me pay tax.
Is that right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
So,
paying tax for
that's
a
the way it
long
goes.
time.
Yeah.
But tell me about the bailout. What's your feeling on this thing, the bailout?
If you don't do something, the recession is much deeper, and a lot more people lose their homes, their jobs, their health care, everything. And I think we as a country have decided we're not willing to do that. We're not willing to just let the chips fall where they may and let people suffer. And so I think that the bailout was a good thing. We've seen with the president's new budget that he's not only interested in getting the economy moving, he's interested in remaking the economy in a way that will make us fundamentally more competitive. At least that's what he's saying, by fixing healthcare, making us less reliant on foreign oil and having a green energy economy. And by fixing education.
But how do you do that? By shoring up industries that are already dependent on foreign oil,
Right.
that are all in this trouble?
Well, what, the automakers, you mean?
Well,
I think
one.
you have to find a balance between having some kind of manufacturing base. I think most economists agree, most Americans agree that we don't want to have no manufacturing in the country.
Of course
But I
not.
think the consumers will push the big auto companies to have more fuel-efficient vehicles. There's no reason other than politics that we don't have cars that get 40 miles a gallon now.
And jetpacks. When
And
I was a kid, they used to say that
Precisely.
in the future there'll be jetpacks. I thought by the year 2000, jetpacks bound to be. 2009, not one jetpack.
Not one jet. And we have the technology.
Oh, sure, we could,
Yeah,
and we could run them
exactly.
on, biodiesel or
I don't
whatever
know.
it is now. Yeah.
Cow remains.
Cow
Sean.
remains.
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, well, no, not cow remains.
Right,
Clearly.
Well, yeah, whatever.
No,
Yeah.
you wouldn't do that. You couldn't run a jetpack on meat.
No,
No.
well, you could.
Well, no, what I'm saying is the shoring up, especially the executives, the people that got us into this mess in the first place.
Right.
Shouldn't these people? I'm not talking about the people on the factory floor. I agree. You've got to shore up that. You've got to fix that.
Right.
You've got to try and protect these people. But what about these? How can I use the word? What's that word? Jerks, I guess. What about these people that have run business into the ground and taken the massive bonuses?
Right.
Are they going to hand any of that stuff back? You think?
No,
Right.
I don't, and I think that's a terrible thing. It's,
Right.
How does that happen? And I think if there's one thing President Obama has to be careful of and knows that he has to be careful of is he has to make sure the country doesn't feel like all the benefits are going to the top of the food chain, to the people who got us into this mess in the first place.
Well, here's the problem, though. If you're going to give a huge stimulus package to an industry, the people that will accept that money will
Right.
be in positions of power. The same people that screwed up the power in the first place.
Well, you have the stimulus package that really goes more towards job creation, things like building bridges and roads, improving healthcare technology,
right.
And then you have the money that's going to shore up the financial services industry, mostly that TARP money. I think that raises some questions about how do you spend it and who's benefiting. But the problem is if you don't stop the financial services industry from collapsing, if you don't free up credit, then we're not going to get out of this recession. And so it's look, you're between a rock and a hard place. There are no good or easy choices in this. So I think the president's decided he's going to do the best he can, try to get things moving again, and try to continually convince the American people that this is in their best interest over maybe not necessarily the next 6 months, but over the next few years. If we're all in this together, and I think that's part of the message, regardless of whether you're Republican or a Democrat, whether you like this or not, we're all in this together. If we don't get some of our problems resolved as a country, we are not going to be able to move forward. And so there's a point we all have to kind of get in and put our shoulders to the wheel and try to fix our problems. And we have to start by being realistic about what they are. I think for too long, all of us are, kind of guilty of this, of saying, well, yeah, we can have ice cream and lose weight. That's the American way, right?
Actually, no, stop drinking milk. Look at my neck. Look at my neck.
Yeah.
Although this might be just a big shirt. I don't know.
Yeah, you start buying bigger shirts and the whole world gets better.
That's
Yeah.
nice. We're out of time. It's lovely to see you
It's
again.
great to
the
see
lovely
you.
Dee Dee Mars, everybody. We'll be right back.
What did we learn on the show tonight, Greg?
Hey, I was worried about that cat. It seems to have gotten a bit better. It's the first time in a long time it's meowed. Usually it farts or takes off like a rocket or its head explodes or it just meowed. Things are going to be all right. Do you know what I learned on the show? I learned on the show tonight, apparently amongst Paris Hilton and her friends, I have a reputation for enjoying cleavage. It's true. Also, we learned that there's a dangerous electricity problem in this studio. There's an electricity problem over at the desk over there, which is interesting to me because a couple of weeks ago we also had the leak in the ceiling problem, where when it rains in California, which admittedly is not that often, the water comes into the actual, what we laughingly call a studio here. Now, if you combine the electrical problem with the hole in the ceiling problem, what I'm saying is the weather report says it's going to rain in California tomorrow night. I would watch this show if I were you. Good night, everybody.